Hello, Miss Hurt, Dr. Brittle, Mr. Rader, Miss Davis, and Miss Mabe. I hope you're having a good year. I know that everybody is extremely busy and it's hard to sit down one on one and just to talk because, again, your plates are full. So I wanted to share just a moment through this video about active family engagement and some of the things that we kind of have in mind that's going to transform it from ordinary into extraordinary. So sit back. Hopefully will answer your questions, but I'm looking forward to taking a moment and sharing with you. Here are some of the goals that I believe not only do we have as far as family engagement, but I think it's division wide. 100% graduation, 98% attendance rate, growing confidence of students that expresses itself in and out of the classrooms, stronger family, student, school relationships, teacher morale, stronger community, and the last one, everyone wins. These are extraordinary goals, and these goals, again, I believe, is shared in our division. These are what we're shooting for. The late Mr. Rex Gerhardt, in his last convocation, shared this phrase, building on success. I've adopted that phrase. I want to carry that phrase on. One of the things that Mr. Gerhardt, when he was talking about building on success, it's not looking at what we're doing and say it's wrong, but it's looking at what we're doing and how can we build upon it. What successful things are we doing, but how can we build upon that success to have even more success? And I would go a step further in saying, how can we have extraordinary success? So we're about building on success. Here's how I believe we can do it. Here's how we can raise the bar when it comes to family engagement. One of the two traditional ways of the high jump was the scissors and the western row. If you did the high jump, this is how you did it. Until a man by the name, or a young athlete by the name of Dick Fosbury showed up. Dick Fosbury loved the high jump, and he wanted to do it. But he tried it traditional way, the scissors or the western row. He couldn't clear 5 feet using those ways. So he started to experiment. The rule book said, as long as you get over the bar, it didn't matter how you get over the bar. And with that mindset, he came up with, as you can see, the Fosbury flop. Freshman in college, as a freshman in college, his coach told him, continue to work on the standard forms, the western row and the scissors. He did that, but he also continued to work on his technique. Sophomore year in a practice, he crushed the college record using his technique. After the jump, the coach came up to him and told him, scrap plan A and work on plan B, which is the Fosbury flop. In 1964, a reporter called him the world's laziest high jumper. That never deterred him. And in 1968, Dick Fosbury broke the American record in the Olympics and won the gold medal at 7 feet 4 and a quarter inches. Here's a man at the age of 16 could not clear 5 feet. But by the time the 68 Olympics rolled around, set the American record. All because he experimented with a technique. That's what we want to do when it comes to family engagement. Build on success. Why? And here it is a belief to why we need to do this. We believe in all these. And again, I think these are division shared beliefs. That the more the family is actively engaged, the better the student will do. It has a positive impact on the children we serve. We believe that every family is a valued partner in the education success of student learning. We believe that there is value in working together. building strong partnerships that supports every student and family, regardless of who they are, that every family wants their children to have a better quality of life than they do, and that every family has something to give of value in support of student learning. Again, these are shared beliefs that we have as a division. Why here and why now? One, we have budget concerns. We have growing student needs. We have growing family needs. We have growing student and teacher needs. But we have a shrinking budget. And so what do we do? How do we meet those needs? How do we meet student needs? How do we meet school and teacher needs? How do we meet family needs in the realm of education with our budget concerns? We have to be creative. Just like Dick Fosbury was when it came to the high jump, we have to be creative in what we're doing in order to meet those needs. Again, it's about everybody winning. And I think also, why here, why now? Because we are living in a culture where more and more people are becoming takers and not givers. We have to change our culture. We can become BVPS, can become culture shapers. Play the offensive instead of defensively. So I want to share with you an exciting story that just, to me, it gave me goosebumps. Ernest Gordon, a World War II prisoner of war for 3 years in a Japanese prison camp called Chungai, wrote the book To End All Wars. And I believe they made a movie out of it as well. Here's what Ernest Gordon said about the camp, the prison camp that they were in. He said this, quote, "Death called to us from every direction. It was in the air we breathed, the food we ate. It was the thing that we talked about," end quote. That is how horrific this prison camp was. Just at the environment that they were in. It was centered on, and everything about it was death. However, there was 2 defining moments that took place in this camp that started to change the culture. One of it was this mindset. Now, in this mindset, it was a you first mentality. Meaning, you die first. You die before me. That was the mentality. If I had to steal food, or if I had to steal medicine, whatever it was to cause me to live longer than you, that's what I did. That was the mindset in this camp. A you first mentality. Here's the 2 defining moments, though, that started to change everything. One was these 2 buddies. One was on the verge of death. His buddy sacrificed his own well-being to nurse his buddy back to health. He had a different mindset. It was a me first mindset. I'm willing to die before you. And because of that mindset, he nursed his buddy back to health, but in the process of doing so, he lost his life. So instead of having a you first mentality, he had a me first mentality. That was the first defining moment that took place within this prison camp that started to change the culture. The second defining moment was they were out on a work detail. And in this work detail, the guard just decided he wanted to kill somebody. So he said this, "There's been a shovel stolen. And until the shovel is found, I am going to start executing prisoners." And all of a sudden, this prisoner spoke up and said, "I took the shovel." That guard became so irate at what this prisoner did that he took this prisoner and literally beat his skull in to death, killing that prisoner in front of everybody. All the prisoners, there was nothing they could do. They stood there helpless to do anything. But that prisoner did not have a you first mentality. He had a me first mentality. Later on, they found out there was no shovel stolen. That guard just wanted to kill some prisoners. That prisoner knew that. He knew there was no shovel stolen, but he was willing to sacrifice his life. Those two moments were defining moments when it came to changing a culture in this prison camp. Ernest Gordon goes on to say this in his book. He and a handful of others refused to accept the culture that had been forced on them. Despite their horrifying conditions, they were able to shape something beautiful. And along the way, they transformed a place of hatred, cowardice, and greed into a place of love, heroism, and self-sacrifice. They transformed a place that was all about me, you first, into a place of me first. I'm willing to die before you. We can do that in our school system. We can transform the culture that we are surrounded with, that we're living in. We don't have to accept the fact our budget is the way it is, and that student needs and teacher needs and family needs are growing. We can do something about it, and we truly believe it's going to be through active family engagement. We can be culture shapers. A lady by the name of Joyce Epstein is considered the nation's leading expert on parent involvement, has divided parent involvement into 6 categories, or 6 components: parenting, communicating, volunteering, learning at home. Now, I added the interactive positive into this, decision making, and community collaboration. So 6 components into active family engagement or into family engagement. So here's how we're going to play here's how we'd like to play the offensive in all these 6 components. Parenting and communicating kind of goes with this, is that we want to hear from parents. How can we better help you? How can we better assist you? How can we better support you? What are some things that you have need that we can help? Now, 2 things that we want to do. We want to start a program called Family University, which is going to provide training. And it's going to provide training for parents, family members, that whatever they need. So if you have a family member that says, I need ways on how to better do education at home with my child. How can I better help that? Or, maybe they're dealing with autism or something else. We want to train them on how to do that and provide that for them. That's assisting them. Because if we assist them and support them at home, then that's going to come back into our schools. That student's going to get more at home of what they need, which is going to again come back into our schools. So how can we help our parents? We want to provide things for our parents that they find relevant, that's going to make them successful and make their family successful. Communicating. Again, it's one of the ways of communicating when it coming to attendance. Our goal division-wide, 98%, I think, is shared. Right now, for the last 5 years, and including this year, which will be our 6th year, we average, when it looks at the schools, here are the percentages that we have in the schools. It goes from anywhere from 94% up to 95%. And I say 94%, it could be like 93.8 if you round it up to like 95 or 96%, 95.7. That percentage is for all 4 elementary schools for the last 5 years, and if you include this year, it would be 6 years. What if we did this? And here is just an idea. Let's say for all 4 elementary schools, once a week, on Saturday morning, since that's when everything updates, is that I looked at attendance, the percentage of attendance that has been that week. So let's say 5th grade at Stonewall Jackson had the highest percentage of attendance for Stonewall Jackson. I simply make a robocall to the Stonewall Jackson families and say, hey, we want to congratulate 5th grade for a percentage of 97.8 attendance rate for this week. And we want to encourage all the grade levels and to achieve that or even higher this coming week. And do that for every elementary school. I believe it's constantly, and this is, again, attendance is important. And if it's important, we've got to keep it before our parents the whole year. So by communicating that in a positive way, communicating how important attendance is, we are communicating that every week for the whole school year. I believe it's going to have an effect, and I believe it will truly increase our attendance rate at every elementary school. We can talk about maybe doing an incentive for once a month for the highest grade level that has the highest percentage attendance rate. Just ideas, but we've got to communicate. So in form of an email, text message, phone call, whatever. Let's communicate that. Volunteering, we want to get parents into the schools and have them to volunteer. If budget says we can do this, well, let's use one of our greatest assets, and that's parents. That's family members. They are our greatest assets, and we need to put them to work and get them more involved. So we have a form that we'd like to send out. I have attached that form for you to look at. We want to hear from teachers. To say, okay, what do you need parents? What do you need from parents? And then the parents would simply circle. They would put down a time they can come in and what day they can come in. And so once we get all the feedback, we're going to train the parents before they come into the school to do anything. We're going to train them. But let's say we have a parent that says, you know what, I can make copies. So say on Monday is Van Pelt Day. So on Monday, we have parents that are able to come in. Whether they go to Van Pelt or not doesn't matter. But we have Monday where they can come in, I can make copies. And there'll be somebody from the team that will be there to ensure that they do what they need to do. Now we're going to train them. We're going to train them before they come in. We're going to show them what they're going to do. They're going to have a schedule. This is when you come in. This is where you go. This is what you do. This is when you leave. We're going to treat it like a job because it is. So this is something where I want to sit down and really explain more into detail one-on-one. But this, I believe, will have a tremendous impact on our teachers in helping our teachers. Interactive positive home activity. This is something where we go home once a week. I've also attached this to let you look at it. It would be from grades 1st through 5th grade, and it's just positive. It's positive. So like the first one would be Dick Fosbury, and say, okay, it's a little bit. It's a story about Dick Fosbury. They talk about Dick Fosbury through the whole week, and they turn it in, and they don't get a grade on it. I prepare the lesson. The teacher simply send it home and pick it back up at the end of the week. I come and pick it up, and they've talked about this the whole week. I have attached this as well, and I need to sit down and share with you more into detail what this is about. Decision making. We want to develop teams. We already have one team in place. It's called the Be Fast Team. It's Bristol Family Advocacy Support Team. We have parents that represents all the elementary schools that's on this team. What we want to do is develop sub-teams. Have a team for Van Pelt, team for Washington Lee, Highland View, and Stonewall. And just really have more parents involved in some decision making of what's going on. Just getting their feedback, making them feel like they are true partners. And community collaboration. This is the exciting part. Man, we want to do a mission, and I call it a mission project, once a month with a school. So, Washington Lee, say we find out, okay, the Boys and Girls Club, they could use some walls be painted, some cleaning, walls washed, whatever it needs to be done. We get some parents, some students signed up. We take them over, and I say I'm talking about our team here. We take them over and spend the afternoon, but it's what it is doing. We have wonderful community partners who give so much back to our schools. What we want to do is change the culture to where it is a me first, and have more and more of our students and more of our families saying, how can I help? and doing a mission project at the Boys and Girls Club or wherever it is, and we'll find the projects that need to be done and having them to give back right here in our local community, I think it will speak volumes. So parenting, communicating, volunteering, learning at home, decision making, and community collaboration. We want to be on the offensive when it comes to this. The one other thing about learning at home, what if we create a YouTube? So let's say at Highland View, a teacher calls me, emails me, and says, "Hey, I'm going to be teaching something that over from the past. It's been hard for some students to get." I bring the video camera over. I sit up in the back of the room, and the teacher simply goes over. It can be during school, it can be after school, whenever the teacher wants me to come. And I actually put it on YouTube, and the students at home can go with their moms or dads and look at the homework and watch it and watch it and watch it until they get it. So again, I can explain more in detail, but again, it's just another way that we can create a positive learning atmosphere inside the home. I think it's just tremendous help. So these are some of the things that we're talking about. And here's, again, just icing on the cake. It's not going to require any more work by the teachers. It's actually going to free up the teachers to do what the teachers need to be doing, and that is teaching. It's going to give them more energy, and they're going to have a positive feedback, I think, with the help that they're going to get. And when it comes to the principals and when it comes to volunteers being in the school, again, it's going to be 1 day a week per school, but you as the principal, you will know who's in your building, where in your building, what they're doing in your building, what time they're there. You will have a schedule. Somebody will be there. If it's myself, will be there to ensure that everything runs smoothly. We're not going to have just parents run out. They got a designated time they come in and a time that they leave. So again, I can sit down with you and talk to you more detail about this. But we want to reach those goals, and we believe this is one of the ways that we can do it. And here it is, guys. When families and students and schools are all doing what they need to be doing, it brings stability to our school system, our division, and community. In a sense, it lifts them up and supports them. I know this was fast, and I know it was quick, but I wanted to share with you because we want to get started on this. Time's a ticking, and we are excited to get started. So I'm going to shoot this out to you. Please watch it at your convenience, and maybe sometime early next week I can sit with you one-on-one and just go into more detail, answer any questions you have. And I will answer any questions you have. I truly believe everyone is going to win. I believe that with my whole heart. Everyone is going to win. Thank you for your time. I truly love each and every one of you. BVPS truly is the dream team. And we're going to take this dream team from where it's at to being extraordinary. Thank you for your time. Love you guys. And I look forward to meeting with you.